Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As you know, if you've been here before, we're working on a twin supercharged Fox-Body. I know I got a long ways to go. This isn't like the crap that you're going to see on daytime TV where people build a car and they do a frame-up restoration in like 2 days. I got the engine back from the machine shop, it's right there. Before we get into the story on how I got this Mustang, and it's a pretty good story you guys, so make sure you stay through the rest of the video. And we need 2 more subscribers to get to that Milwaukee tool giveaway. We're going to give you a little tour of the home garage.
I can slide till I get arthritis, which my heart is icy, walking past the bouncer like I knew somebody. Acrylic, hella cloudy, at a poison ivy, but from like a stronger with a cosign me. I don't even like me, no, I'm staring in the mirror, indifferent. Who is this nigga? He claimed me the realest, the shy, but timid. The riddles were fingers, they simple-minded. Find a prototype, I'm taking it. From the ground, now we paving it. Hella boats when I'm thinking. Too much on my face, when they take a shit. New sounds, I make
Samantha's with us again today. She's a good girl, good shop dog. You can see this is her favorite spot to be, is in the spare tire compartment in the hatch of the Fox-Body. So yeah, Fox-Body, where are we at with that? I haven't talked specifically just about the Fox-Body in a minute or two. The motor's back from the machine shop. It's in that bag right there. Right now, I'm currently making a hutch for my toolbox at work. I got a 54-inch snap-on box, and I don't got no time or money for a $5,000 hutch. So we're making one. I tried something, it didn't work, so I got to get some more supplies for that. Anyway, what's next for the supercharged Fox-Body project? Well, today I wanted just to give you a tour of the home garage and show you kind of some of the stuff that goes on in here while we're clamped down for this coronavirus. Yeah, and not to joke about the coronavirus, it's a very serious issue. I think the media's definitely overhyped it for sure, but I also think, you know, schools closing, stuff like that, it's precautionary, you guys. They don't want it to spread. So, good for me, I get to be in the garage. So today we are going to bring you a tour of my home toolbox. What does a home toolbox look like for a mechanic? Well, let's find out. Alright, so at home toolbox, I literally paid $50 for this, full of Chinese old crappy tools back in the day. And as a mechanic, you guys, you don't like bringing all your stuff from work to home, because if you have Snap-on, Mac, thousands of dollars worth of nice tools, granted I have some cheap stuff in there too, but if you have all those good tools, that's how stuff gets misplaced. I hate bringing tools back and forth. Granted, I still do it because this is nowhere near the arsenal I have at work, but I'm gonna flip you around, let's see what we got in here. And you can see it's perfectly mint, right? So if we go up to the Craftsman, this is the part that's not organized at all. Just a bunch of random junk, honestly, that accumulated over the years. Some organization starts here. We got picks, pry bars, screwdrivers. In this drawer here, some Harbor Freight screwdrivers, Harbor Freight pick set. Then you go over here, drawer is pretty much empty. You got some tweezers. Come here. We got air nozzles, stuff like that. For the giant air compressor. Paid $120 for that. Big win, 80-gallon air compressor. Got wrenches, thumb wrenches, extensions. A mess of wrenches. One nice thing I did find was Harbor Freight decided to give us long-handled, cheap wrenches. Most of the time you get these cheap wrenches. See if I can find one. And you get a tiny little handle like that, so you get no leverage on this. It's just, that's how most of the cheap ones are. But Harbor Freight decided to give us these long ones, which was nice. This is bodywork hammer set, hammers, a couple wire brushes, lady's foot pry bar, scraper, miscellaneous pliers, my multi-tool that broke, so when I upgrade stuff and it breaks, I bring it home. Sockets, U-bolts and a saw. And the testosterone drawer. This is where I keep all the saws, things you want to use when you're angry. I got a hole saw kit, grinding discs, abrasive pads, stuff like that down in this drawer down here. If we go down even further, we got a couple nice Milwaukee angle grinders, a piece of pipe I use on occasion to get extra leverage on things. We got some jacks, we got, oh, this is going on the Mazda. Got the Harbor Freight chop saw. The whole reason I bought the Harbor Freight one is because the handle is this way versus the one that seems like it's backwards. So yeah, that thing's been good for the amount of times that I use it. Of course, we got the wood stove over here. Ooh, hot. If we go up, you see the lovely fascias of the Mustang. What? Scion? Anyway, yeah, so there's a nose for the Mustang. Here's another nose for the Mustang. Go over, there's my little grinding station I made. This was everything nice and laid out for the Mustang, for the motor, the rockers, the lifters, stuff like that. But, hey, what did you do yesterday? Samantha. Guilt. And like I said, we're working on a hutch. That is an old tonneau cover. I was thinking somehow I could rig it up for a collapsible door on the front of the hutch there. But yeah, you guys, this is the shop. If we look on top, the shelf up there, that's a welder. Yes, I made a welder myself. Spot welder, I wanted one with adjustable arms. I'll put a link to that video somewhere up here. Bear with me, that's before I had any of my nice camera gear. But yes, I put a welder in a wooden box. Don't hate me for that. I'm sure that's OSHA approved, right? Story time. Alright, so how did I acquire this Fox-Body? To do the story really right, you gotta go back, and I did a video of this. It was the second video I ever did like 3 years ago, and I watch it and it's just super cringeworthy, but whatever. So I thought I'd retell the story. So what happened was, my uncle had an SN95 convertible GT when I was growing up, nothing special, but it was a super clean car. He kept it in California at his second home. My uncle was a huge role model for me, probably one of the biggest role models of my entire life. If you ever seen the show Shark Tank, he could have sat up there with those guys. This guy had his fingers in every kind of business ever, just a very smart man. But he was also very humble, drove a Highlander. You would have never ever known he had any money. So may he rest in peace. He actually passed away a few years ago. But if we go back to my sophomore year in high school, Mustangs had always been my favorite car. And he sold me that car for $800. At the time, it was probably worth $5,000. It had 60,000 miles on it when I got it. Mint condition, no rust, never winter driven. So that car, obviously, he was still alive at that time, and I was in college. I needed money, so I sold the car, and I wanted a project, so I bought this. And this was originally an Arizona car. So the car was in Marinette, Wisconsin, which happens to be about 600 miles from where I'm at. So it was quite a hike. I worked a Saturday shift at the dealership. I was in the lube tech back then. I was in tech school. We took off afterwards and had some problems with the vehicle. Ended up taking us 14 hours to get down there. Got the car, brought it back, and I remember driving down the road and like hitting traffic cones, smacking myself in the face, just to try to stay awake, and it was an absolutely horrible trip. Fast forward 5 years, I didn't have a place. Now we have a house and a garage, little home shop, so I was able to bring this here and get to working on it. See, I told you, favorite bed. You're gonna do it. What, now that we're watching, you're not gonna lay down? Anyway, so yeah, and honestly guys, I wish I could get my SN95 back. It was a convertible automatic, so I didn't really, at the time when my uncle was still living, didn't really care as much. Now I would love to have it back just as a cruiser, but you know, there were many times when I was gonna buy this house, get this place, stuff like that, money's gotten tight, I was gonna sell this car, but I've decided, I have to finish it. I told you guys we're putting twin Eaton M90s. Don't believe me? First time on the channel, right there. We're putting these on this car, and I wanna do it because I don't know, in some way it would make me feel like I'm still connected to my uncle, who I miss very much. Even though this isn't his car, I'm gonna finish it for two main reasons, you guys. One, because I knew once I told you that we were gonna do this twin supercharged thing, I had to do it because it's out there. I already said I was gonna do it. So we're gonna do it. And two, the second big reason is for my uncle. I would actually like to finish this car just to be a kind of tribute. Even though it's not an SN95, it's a Fox-Body, it still has part of him tied to it with me getting that first Mustang and stuff like that. I hope you guys enjoyed this little vlog. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing down below. We do tool reviews, car reviews, give you input on being a technician in a professional shop. So watch another video, you guys. I really appreciate it if you hit the like button, subscribe down below, and we'll see you next time.
Swear they never really understand me. I need a comment like I need a Grammy. She lays the flow with her designer panties. Yeah, we eating plenty. Check the pantry from the sound waves to the